So, I've been recently trying out WoW, and I wanted to like this game. I really do, because there's so much cool stuff. I thought this is gonna be my next game I can suck in endless and endless amounts of hours. And there's cool classes. Probably the biggest map I have ever seen. I mean, holy shit, this is huge. It takes me so long to travel between the towns. Good thing I find a horse. Once you get to level 20, I got a horse, which was really cool. But still, even with that, it still takes you kind of long to get to other classes, right? But I mean, to get to other, whatever you call them, towns and stuff. But the problem is the combat. So bad. So awful. It's probably one of the worst combat I have ever played. And it could be the best. It could be the best combat ever. But there is this cooldown between all abilities, global cooldown, whatever it is. It's just so awful. It makes the combat so clunky and not fun. It's just doesn't feel right. I feel like this ability are meant to be spammy, but for some reason there's this fucking cooldown on all of the ability anytime I press one ability, and they all go on a cooldown. It doesn't really look like it that long, but when you actually play in the game, you can feel how terrible and clunky that, like, I'm actually sometimes I'm looking at my abilities more than I'd actually fight, and just waiting where I can press my abilities, right? I'm not even looking at the fight, I'm looking at the abilities. That's how bad it is. It might doesn't look like it, but you can feel the clunkiness in combat. And I have no idea why they designed this way, because this game could be epic if you didn't have that horrendous cooldown on all of your abilities. Like, I mean, they can have individual cooldowns. Yeah, I understand that. That's how all game works. But why is there this? All of them go on a cooldown when I use one ability. Like, I press this, all of them went on cooldown. That makes no sense. Like, what the fuck? Just like, I don't know. Maybe it's balancing PvP. Usually that's what happens in games like this when they try to balance PvP, and the PvE games goes to shit. But then again, this is just my perspective, and majority of people love WoW, so maybe they're into this type of combat. It's not for me. I did get to level 40 with Paladin. I did want to enjoy this game. I thought I can suck in endless and endless and hours because of the probably the biggest map. Yeah, it's definitely the biggest map of any game I have played, and the most content. This game has insane amounts of content, but the combat being so fucking slow, I can't continue. It's just so unfun. The combat is actually not slow. It's just is I don't know. It's just this one thing that ruins the entire combat, and that is that global cooldown or whatever the fuck it's called. But it just completely destroy any kind of enjoyment or combat I can get, any kind of satisfaction I can get. That 2 seconds of wait, even though it sounds stupid, but for some reason those 2 seconds just becomes like an endless and endless amounts of time that makes the combat awful. Anyways, it's just my opinion. Time to move up to the next game.